welcome back to NY Flight Jets Talk. This stream, we have a lot to discuss, whether it was the Sauce Gardner free agency tweet, Daniel Jeremiah and Mel Kiper both dropped their first mock drafts, so we have a lot to discuss today, and I would just like to thank you guys for all the support on the Rich Samini interview, as you guys clearly loved the Rich, and Rich is a great guy. I really like Rich, and we're definitely going to try to get more guests on the show, as you guys love the guest videos. All right. There is a comment in the chat to call into the show, but yeah. So let's get right into it. I'm going to pull up the tweet that Sauce Gardner put out today about T. Higgins and Calvin Ridley. So let me pull that up. Jets Media, Richie from Jets Media tweets out, name a free agent no one is talking about that the Jets should sign. And Sauce Gardner comes back and replies to it and says, Calvin Ridley and T. Higgins. Oh, and T, meaning T. Higgins. I would love, I think Ridley, he would be fine, but T. Higgins. Big on T. Higgins. Number one guy, as you guys probably know. I'm huge on T. Higgins. Young wide receiver. Great size profile. Just overall very, very talented receiver. And as you could see, Matt O'Leary, I like GM Sauce almost as much as cornerback Sauce. Richie coming back in. I'm in. Thank you, GM Sauce. Let Joe Douglas know. Yeah, I agree. I think Calvin Ridley, what would you guys think if the Jets signed Calvin Ridley? I don't think it would be terrible, but I don't think it would be what Jets fans wanted. Like, personally, I'd rather have, probably rather have Devontae Adams over T. Higgins. And you guys know, I'm not huge on Devontae Adams. I don't think he's, he's very talented. He's getting older. I don't know if he's worth all that money. So they're going to need to he's not going to want to restructure, but we're going to need to. That's the problem. That is the problem when it comes to trading for Devontae Adams. But like Sauce said, Calvin Ridley and T, both would be great, but I prefer T. Higgins. Type in the chat what you guys thought about that tweet. I mean, I thought it kind of came out of nowhere, like replying to Richie's tweet. But I don't know. Sauce is very active on Twitter. So I think we're gonna get into the top 10 of Daniel Jeremiah's mock draft. Before we do that, Damian, I don't think Adams will come to the Jets. I think he's settled at the Raiders. Yeah, the chance. Rich was saying it yesterday. The chances of Devontae Adams coming to the Jets are very slimmer than they were now that they announced Antonio Pierce as head coach. And he was a big advocate for Pierce to take that head coaching job over in Vegas. Damien, I'm about to pin the comment in the chat if you'd like to call into the show. Love to hear what you have to say. Let me just pin that real quick, and then we'll get right into Jeremiah's mock draft, and then we'll go Kiper, because Jeremiah's was released yesterday, I believe. And then Mel Kiper's was released today. So let me just pin the comment. Taking a little. All right, it's not letting. Oh wait. All right, there we go. The comment has been pinned. All right, so I'll read the names out loud to you guys. I'll do the top 10 of Jeremiah's draft. All right. And we can go over the Brooks one also. I think we should do Brooks and Jeremiah. So, number 1, he has the Bears selecting Caleb. Not really a surprise. Number 2, he has Drake May to the Commanders. At 3, he has Jaden Daniels to the Patriots. At 4, he has Marvin Harrison going to the Cardinals. At 5, he has Rome Odunze going to the Chargers. At 6, he has Malik Neighbors going to the Giants. 7, he has the Titans picking Joe Alt. At 8, he has the Falcons selecting the first defensive player, edge rusher Dallas Turner out of Alabama. At 9, back-to-back edge guys, he has the Bears selecting Jared Verse out of Florida State. Here's what it gets controversial. At number 10, he has the Jets selecting Tylese Fuaga. And that's interesting because I don't know if you guys noticed, but Olu Fashanu was never picked. He actually has Olu Fashanu going at 13 to the Raiders. And personally, I don't think there's any way that Olu falls all the way to 13. But this is what Jeremiah had to say on Tylese Fuaga. I love Fuaga's tape from his career at Oregon State. I think we'll see him move up on draft boards during the evaluation process. He's massive and powerful. New York's offensive line is screaming out for more help as the Jets look to protect Aaron Rodgers. I mean, practically what he's saying is he thinks at the combine, like once combine and the draft gets closer, this guy's going to climb draft boards and grab a ton of attention. But personally, Olu Fashanu, if he's available at 10, you have to snatch him. He's just so talented. Like he's Bo Nix going at 14 and Bowers at 15. Bowers falling at 15. Where the order is now, I think there's a chance that Bowers falls all the way to like 14 and 15. Wild Wave, Olu is extremely raw. We don't have the luxury to develop him with a win now mode. The kid is at least 2 years away. Yeah, from what I'm hearing, the plan is in the NFL to move him to guard. I don't know. I'd rather just keep him at tackle and AVT at guard if he were to come to the Jets. I understand what you're saying, though, Wild Wave. Wild Wave, pin comment in the chat to call into the show, especially you. You are yet to call in. Love to hear what you have to say. But yeah, I don't disagree with you when it comes to Olu. So now let's open the other mock draft, not Mel Kiper's, Brooks mock draft. Bucky Brooks mock draft. All right, this is his top 10. All right, number 1, Caleb. Number 2, Drake May. Number 3, Daniel. So the top 3 is the same. Top 4 is the same. He has Marvin Harrison going to the Cardinals. And this is where it gets interesting. 5, he has Brock Bowers going to the Chargers. I can see that. Justin Herbert to Brock Bowers seems like a tight connection. Almost seems too good to be true. 6, he has the Giants selecting Rome Odunze. 7, he has the Titans selecting Olu Fashanu. I can 100% see that. 8, Dallas Turner to the Chargers. 9, Latu. I know, I've seen him before. Edge guy out of UCLA. Going 9 to the Bears. And then he has at 10, the Jets selecting Joe Alt out of Notre Dame. The Jets get Joe Alt or Olu. Fuaga, I'm going to be like, yeah, I expect him to be there, but they can get Alder Fashanu. Fuaga's talented. He's expected to be there, though. But if they can get Alder Fashanu, that would be incredible. He goes, Bucky writes, fixing the offensive line is a top priority for GM Joe Douglas and co. The Notre Dame standout is a day one starter with strong hands and nimble feet. I agree. I think that would be a great pick. Damien, I like Fuaga at 10. I think he's a better pick than Fashanu. No, Fashanu's going to be better than Fuaga. Fashanu, from what I've seen, he's going to be better than Fuaga. Well, I can't say they're lottery picks. I'd rather have Fashanu over Fuaga. I think, honestly, if Fashanu and Alder off the board, we trade back to 15. I think Fuaga can be available at that 15, 18 area. All right. Let's go over to the Mel Kiper mock draft. 1, Caleb. 2, Daniels. Well, 2 Daniels. 3, Drake May. 4, Marvin Harrison. 5, Brock Bowers. 6, Malik Neighbors. 7, Joe Alt. 8, Dallas Turner. 9, Romo Dunze. And then he has the Jets selecting Olu Fashanu at that 10 spot. Yeah. My opinion, well, we're all gonna say Marvin Harrison. We want the most, but there's like literally 0% chance that he's available. Wild Wave. We need to plug and play right away. I prefer Alt Neighbors or Romo Dunze. Fuaga, be good if none of them are there. What about Fashanu? Wild Wave, I have a question for you. Who would you take, Odunze or Fashanu? I'm curious to see what you think. Because that's funny you didn't put Fashanu there. A lot of us have different opinions on the offensive line, which I like. Like, I'm a big Jonah Williams guy, and you guys don't seem to be big fans of Jonah Williams. I'm big on Jonah Williams. Did you see the tweet from Connor Hughes earlier today stating that Ty Embry be returning as the running back coach? Interesting. Wildwave says Odunze. Wow, Odunze over Fashanu. Wildwave, I definitely would love to go deeper in this conversation with you. Pin comment in the chat if you'd like to call into the show. Because I really want to see what you have to say about why you're not big on Fashanu. So pin comment in the chat if you'd like. Who would you guys rather have? Type this in the chat. Who would you guys rather have? T. Higgins or Mike Evans? All money put aside, who would you rather have right now, T. Higgins or Mike Evans? T. Higgins, for me, my top three go Higgins at 1, Evans at 2, Adams at 3, probably Ridley at 4. Can you guys see the Jets trading down? Because I sure can see the Jets trading down to that 15-18 area. Okay, these are the list of quarterbacks the Jets play next year. Josh Allen twice, Tua twice, whoever the Pats QB is next year twice. Stroud, Matt Stafford, Brock Purdy, Geno Smith, Kyler Murray, Anthony Richardson, Trevor Lawrence, Will Levis, and then whoever the Vikings QB is, and then Kenny Pickett. Wow. The quarterbacks that are confirmed are actually pretty solid quarterbacks. Mike Evans, big play guy and much cheaper than T. I said all money put aside. T is way younger than Mike. I don't know. I've been huge on T ever since he's come into the league. Do you guys think the white legacy jerseys are going to be made permanent going into 2024? I think they will. I hope they do. I think those jerseys are sick. Would you guys? I have an interesting question for you guys. Would you guys tag Greg the Leg? Let's say Huff walks. Would you guys tag Greg the Leg? I honestly would tag Greg the Leg. If we're not going to sign him long term, I would 100% tag him. I think he's so talented. Well, like the best. Other than Tucker, he's probably top 2. I'd say top 5 kicker. I think he's better than Cairo Santos, and Cairo Santos got that 4-year, $16 million extension. Wild Wave. I can't afford to waste several years in developing Olu when we can get in a win now mode. Tennessee would be perfect for Olu since they are in a rebuild. I love Olu just in the timeline not matching up for us. You're saying Fawaga would be win now? I don't know. I think Joe Alt would be win now. I think Joe Alt doesn't need to be developed a lot. What were you guys' thoughts on all the speculation of like David Bakhtiari on the O-line trip when it turns out it was like Jake Hansen or Dennis Kelly? Also, guys, who do you guys think is the most underrated player on the Jets right now? Personally, who do you guys think is the most underrated player on the Jets right now? And also, do you guys think Will McDonald can live up to all the hype from the draft being selected when not a lot of Jets fans were happy with the pick. But I think that in that draft, I think Tittman was an incredible pick. Just incredible pick. You know, I'm going to go ahead and play you guys. Michael, before I do that, Michael Carter II, yeah. He was robbed of an all-pro campaign. Yeah, best slot corner in the league. I totally agree with you. Robbed of an all-pro campaign. Let me go ahead and play the clip of what Solomon Thomas had to say on Will McDonald.
Heated career. Then you guys got on the outside. You got John Franklin. Can you talk about the pieces up front that you've been playing with? Quinnen going back to the Pro Bowl, of course. Quentin Jefferson signing here in the offseason, heated career. Then you guys got on the outside, you got John Franklin Myers, chess piece, and obviously Jermaine Johnson taking that leap in year 2. Bryce Huff having a career year. I mean, the list goes on and on. Will McDonald, can you talk about the line?
Definitely, yeah. No, we have an unbelievable defensive line here. I mean, like you said, I mean, Will McDonald is an unbelievable rookie. I mean, obviously, you know, he can show what he's done. I mean, we all say in the D-line room, he has the most insane athletic ability we've ever seen. And, you know, he's a 10-sack guy, and we're excited for him to put that on tape. But you get a guy like Quinnen who leads the room. You're all back-to-back Pro Bowler, one of the best players in the league. Just so dominant in everything he does. Quentin Jefferson had an amazing year this year, career year. You know, the presence he brings in the room is huge. He's a huge leader for us. Very knowledgeable with the game and teaches a lot of guys. And I think he's a very, very valuable piece to us. And John Franklin Myers, again, another guy who is an unbelievable player, extremely dominant every play at any position he wants to play. He's a guy who can take over the game anytime they want, and you know, that's why he's a player he is, and I think he deserves to keep being that player. And then, you know, just like Jermaine having the year he had, breaking out, I mean, it was unbelievable going from his rookie year to this year. You know, so proud of him and everything he's done. And then Bryce Huff being an undrafted free agent and going out there and balling the way he did. I was so proud of those guys, and getting 10 sacks. And you know, Bryce is a guy who's worked for it ever since he's gotten here, and I've watched it firsthand. I'm just super proud of him, and I'm excited for him to go make the money that he's about to make.
So, you heard it from Solly. He said Will McDonald's a 10-sack guy. I think Will McDonald has a ton of potential in this league. But I think the D-line room right now is stacked. So I think it's going to take him a little to develop, rightfully so. I mean, he's going into his second year next year. I think it'll be a bit better. But this D-line room is stacked. I think Solly 100% needs to be brought back on maybe a 1 to 2 year deal. He had a crazy good year. 100% deserves to be back next year. I don't think anyone's really going to go after Solomon. So if we could bring him in on like a 1 year, $3.5 million, 1 year, $4.5 million, or like a 2 year, $7 million. I don't know. I don't know if we'd want to commit to him for 2 years, but definitely like a 1 year, $4.5 million deal would make sense. Anyways, I'll leave you guys with that. Thank you for watching, and as always, JETS, Jets.